everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a very exciting announcement today. I am a co-host this year for Occult Detective Fiction October, and this is a genre that's relatively new to me. Last year I read Weird Tales, 100 Years of Weird Tales, and this is the most spectacular anthology of all time because it features kind of non-fiction essays about genres featured in the Weird Tales magazines, and then samples from each. And I got to one of the later chapters on occult detective fiction, and I found it fascinating, and I hadn't dipped my toes into it. And then last October, I watched Roy's videos on the channel Roy Reads Anything, and he had all of these incredible videos on occult detective fiction, on the best detectives, the best anthologies, the best beginner guide. Since then, I've read only one occult detective, really, which was Carnegie by William Hope Hodgson, one of my favorite authors. And since then, the kind of floodgates have opened because I've also watched a lot of Michael K. Vaughan videos on occult detectives. He's recently made one on Seabury Quinn's Jules de Grandin, which is featured in a lot of Weird Tales magazines. And he's made some incredible videos over the years on several occult detective fiction corners. So what happened is there was a challenge or a reading-a-thon thing started on BookTube last year, and we are now continuing with it. And I'm very happy to have been invited to this and to be one of the hosts. Now, the challenges are pretty simple and they're left a little bit broad on purpose so that people can be introduced to the genre the same way I was. Now, the goal here is to get you interested or introduced to this subgenre. And if you'd like to make it more fun and have more challenges added, you can read in week 1 anything pre-1960. So this can include anything Victorian Gothic as well, and early occult detectives. Then on week 2, we read post-1960s occult detectives. So this is more contemporary things, could be a lot of fun. And then we can have diverse author or character. And then week 4, anything goes. So you can choose what you want to do, how you want to approach this. Now, another highlight of this incredible reading challenge is the involvement of the Occult Detective magazine. If you haven't heard about this, it is a publication. They're currently working on getting the 11th issue out. And I am fascinated by this magazine. I want to learn more about it, and I definitely want to dip my toes and read as much as I can because it's contemporary, it's wonderful, and the editor is one of the nicest people that I've ever spoken to. So I'm very interested in that. But both Michael K. Vaughan and Ollie at Criminally have made some outstanding videos on this magazine. So I will link all of those things down below. And some of the people involved as well, because we have 12 hosts. And these are some of the most amazing booktubers and people I've worked with before, and some new people. I have some new channels to check out. So everything that I've mentioned and more will be linked down below. That said, I just want to mention my intended TBR, or some things that I'd like to read in October. So first of all, I would very much like to read some of the Occult Detective magazine that I've mentioned. Now, I really enjoy historical context and readerships. I'm sort of fascinated by when a genre does something to readers and creates groups and community and readerships in general, and to kind of see the transition of the genre as a whole. So I really prefer a nonfiction about stuff like this, and I want to read more of that this upcoming October. So luckily for me, Roy also did a master thesis called Origins of the Occult Detective Genre in Victorian Periodicals. So this is going to be a great introduction for me. And I would like, in the pre-1960s detective, to read the John Silence stories by Algernon Blackwood, because that is kind of like a prototype early occult detective. And I figured that might be a good start for me for this challenge. And along the same lines, Ghostly Clients and Demonic Culprits, The Roots of occult detective fiction. This is a new acquisition for me for this challenge specifically. I'd like to learn more about it and more about the context and the kind of non-fiction angle, maybe a little bit of literary criticism in here. I don't know. I'm really excited. I think these two will provide a lot of context for me. So yeah, I'm excited. Now, I'm not sure if these will be in the post-1960s or in the anything goes category, but I would like to read some of the Simon If stories written by Aleister Crowley himself. Yeah, Aleister Crowley, need I say more? A book that I've been meaning to get to for a really long time, The Ghost Slayers, Thrilling Tales of Occult Detection, edited by Mike Ashley, who is a wonderful editor, and this is from the British Library, Tales of the Weird. I've been reading through these. This is the perfect time to read this one. I am super excited, and this has a collection of stories across the years, so it will be a good kind of sampling for me and see what I like. It will be interesting. Now, the last category is things from Weird Tales directly, because I have been reading through the Weird Tales magazines, as you know, and Seabury Quinn, Jules de Grandin. There are many other occult detectives in Weird Tales. I am planning to sample a few more pulpy stories. And there is one Weird Tales magazine that got released digitally. And this is in this new renaissance of Weird Tales where Maybury, the same editor who did this one, was the editor when this came out. I think it's like the 360 something edition. And it's specifically on occult detective short stories. And I do have a digital copy of it, so it might not make for a good Weird Wednesday because I can't flip through the physical copy, but it is something that I would like to read because it fits in with all of my vibes. So that's it. If you have any questions, there are plenty of people linked down below who know a lot more about this genre than I do, and some of them have written books. Some of them have done this before, so please click on their channels, check them out. They have put out a lot of material on occult detection, more than I have, because I have only like one video on this on Carnegie. Now, the reason this video is coming out today rather than October 1st is so that you have a month to think about what you'd like to read, place holds on books at the library, find things online. You know, if you come across an occult detective in the next month or so in a bookstore, or see something in the wild in a little free library, it gives you time to process and to collect your reading list. And I really truly hope you join us for Occult Detective Fiction October. And there will be opportunities to have overlap with Victober and other challenges happening on BookTube. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in a future video very soon. Bye!